Hi everyone, welcome back to Geek. Today we're diving into the epic world of Middle-earth with a recap of Amazon Prime's The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. So buckle up because we've got a lot to cover, so let's just dive right in. After the fall of Dark Lord Morgoth, we find elf Finrod on a quest to hunt down Morgoth's dark servant, Sauron. Tragically, Finrod dies in the process. His sister, Galadriel, picks up the torch, determined to continue his search. She uncovers a deserted fortress in the northern wastelands of Fordorath, marked with Sauron's sign. Despite her findings, High King Gil-galad of Lindon declares war against Morgoth's forces and offers Galadriel and her crew a peaceful journey into Valinor. But Galadriel isn't ready to give up just yet. She defies the High King's orders and leaps from the ship onto the soldering seas, determined to keep searching. Meanwhile, in the Southlands, elves are keeping an eye on men who once allied with Morgoth. The elf Arendir has formed a close bond with a human healer named Bronwyn. They discovered that the village of Horindern has been destroyed, and Bronwyn's son Theo stumbles upon a broken sword marked with Sauron's symbol. Galadriel swims back to Middle-earth and encounters a raft with survivors of a shipwreck. The sole survivor, Halbrand, is on the run from orcs. Together they brave the storms and forge an unlikely partnership. Over in the Shire-like lands, the Harefoots, Nori Brandyfoot, and Poppy Proudfellow discover a mysterious figure in a meteor crater. This enigmatic stranger doesn't speak their language, but uses fireflies and seemingly magical signs to search for a constellation that's unfamiliar to Nori. In Eregion, Elrond meets with Celebrimbor, the renowned elven smith who's planning a grand new forge. Elrond suggests enlisting the help of the dwarves, leading him to Prince Durin IV. Despite some initial tension, Durin IV agrees to assist after his wife Disa convinces him. Galadriel and Halbrand eventually make their way to Numenor, an island kingdom with strained relations with the elves. The Numenor's Queen Regent, Miriel, denies Galadriel's request to return to Middle-earth, but Galadriel uncovers the Sauron mark is actually a map showing a plan for a new realm of darkness in the Southlands. Back in the Southlands, Arendir is captured by the orcs and forced into hard labor digging tunnels. His elven companion are executed during a failed escape attempt, and Arendir encounters the orc leader known as Aldar, who delivers a chilling ultimatum to the Southlanders: submit or face destruction. As the Harefoots prepare for migration, the stranger, now revealed, joins them and helps Nori with her wagon. Meanwhile, Queen Miriel's resistance to aiding the Southland softens after a troubling vision of falling petals of Numenor's white tree. She decides to accompany Galadriel after all. Episode 5 starts off with the Harefoots, who are saved from a wolf attack by the mysterious stranger. Using his magic, he wards off the wolves but injures himself in the process. He later tries to heal himself using more magic, almost accidentally hurting Nori in the process, which scares her. Meanwhile, in the Southlands, Wardreg sways half of the refugees into joining the orcs. Theo shows the broken sword to Arendir, who believes it's a key meant to enslave the Southlanders. In Lindon, Gil-galad confides in Elrond about Mithril, revealing its potential to counteract the elves' fading power. Elrond heads back to Khazad-dûm to persuade Durin IV's father, King Durin III, to help the elves with the Mithril, as Numenor prepares to set sail for the Southlands. Tar Palantir warns Miriel of the impending danger, but she decides to go anyway. Galadriel reveals that Halbrand will accompany them to claim the Southland's throne, though he initially resists and accuses her of manipulation. After a heartfelt apology, Halbrand agrees to join the journey. Adar and his orcs arrive at Astrillith, only to find it abandoned, thanks to Arendir, who collapses the tower on them. He and the refugees return to Tarharad to prepare for the next attack. As Galadriel and the Numeronians arrive at the Southlands, Arendir hides the broken sword instead of destroying it. That night, orcs attack Tirad. Townspeople are horrified to discover that some of the attackers were once refugees who followed Wardreg. Theo reveals the sword's location to Adar to save Bronwyn, and Adar attempts to escape as the Numeronians arrive, killing or capturing the remaining orcs. Halbrand is hailed as the new king of the Southlands. Theo realizes the sword is missing. Waldreg has it and uses it to unleash a flood that erupts from a lava chamber beneath Mount Orodurin, devastating the Southlands. Galadriel wakes up in the aftermath covered in ash and reunites with Theo. Muriel loses her eyesight, and Elrondil's son, Ilsrador, is presumed dead. The Harfoots arrive at their destination only to find it destroyed by a volcano. The stranger tries to help but endangers Nori and her sisters, prompting the Harfoots to send him away. However, the orchard magically regrows overnight. Mysterious women arrive searching for the stranger and destroy the Harfoots' caravans. Nori tries to misdirect them, but ultimately the women find the stranger. The stranger, encouraged by Nori, uses his magic to banish the women to the unseen world. He reveals he is a wizard and needs to travel to East Ruin, and Nori decides to accompany him. Galadriel and Theo reunite with Arondir and a seriously injured Halbrand. Celebrimbor begins working on the forge with Mithril, and Halbrand takes an interest in his work, suggesting a way to create a small object. Muriel and Elendil return to Numenor to find Tar Palantir has died. Elrond and Durin IV fail to convince the king Durin III to aid the elves. They are caught mining Mithril, leading to Elrond's banishment and the stealing of the mines by Durin III, who is unaware of the Balrog lurking below. The Southlands is now officially known as Mordor. The trio of mysterious women reveal themselves to the stranger that he is Sauron. Meanwhile, Galadriel realizes Halbrand's true identity and confronts him. Halbrand/Sauron flees to Mordor, and Galadriel chooses not to expose him, instead supporting Celebrimbor's plan to forge the 3 Rings of Power. Elrond discovers the truth too late. 3 Rings of Power have been forged. The stage is set for an epic conflict, and the world of Middle-earth is changed forever. I don't know how many of those words I messed up. Now that I'm not looking at my script scrolling ahead of me, I know for a fact several of those words I did not get the pronunciations perfectly. So please let me know in the comments which ones I messed up the most, which ones made your ears bleed the worst. And honestly, just let me know what you're excited about for season 2 of Rings of Power. I know there's a lot of Lord of the Rings fans in our geekdom, so please let me know what you are most excited about. Me, the costumes, and honestly, just getting closer to the world of Lord of the Rings that we all know. It's gonna be great. Amazon usually doesn't disappoint. So I will see you guys on the next recap or in several of the other geek videos. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. And again, let me know. Fill up those comments, guys. I will see you for the next one.